This is one of my favorite types of videos to do. You all know why? Because I'm lazy and this requires almost no preparation. Hey BookTube, it's Kim at Middle of the Book March, and today I have a book haul. This is a fun one because I always enjoy doing book hauls. It's only physical books. I have them all in a pile. I'm going to move them closer so I don't have to reach. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have to do any prep for this. I know what most of them are about. I'm not going to give you a whole big rundown or, read the entire blurb on the dust jacket. I will read a little piece of it so you can get an idea of what the book is about, and then we'll go on from there. These are in absolutely no order. However, most of them are used or bargains, and I will kind of fill you in a little bit on the price of all of these books that I paid. The first one is a book that I've seen everywhere, and I've never read it. This was published in 2012. It's The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. And my older daughter started reading it a long time ago and said she really enjoyed it, but I don't know if she ever finished it. These are homesteaders, Jack and Mabel. They've carved out a quiet life of hard work and routine in 1920s Alaska. And they're longing for a child, and it's not possible for them to have one. They build a child out of snow. So I'm really, I'm assuming there's some magical realism going on in this book. And they eventually get glimpses of a little blonde girl alone in the snow. So yeah, I've heard really good things about this. And as far as I know, I don't remember if she's a prize winner, if this book won a prize. I don't remember. But yeah, The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. Looking forward to that. This one is a book I actually have had. Oh, sorry about that. This book I bought for 60 cents. It's a former library book, hardcover with deckled edges, which I love. And I found this in a Salvation Army thrift store. There's a Salvation Army near me that has its own little bookstore room. And it was 60 cents. So, what was I going to do? Pass it by? No. This one has been on my list, on my radar for a long, very long time. And this was published in 1972. This is My Name is Asher Lev by Chaim Potok. And this is a modern classic. The back of this says, Asher Lev is a Ladover Hasid who keeps kosher, prays 3 times a day, and believes in the Rabbono Shel Olam, the master of the universe. Asher Lev is an artist who is compulsively driven to render the world he sees and feels, even when it leads him to blasphemy. And it says this is a visionary novel. Really, honestly, I have had this on my list, whether you want to call it a TBR list or my mental radar or modern classic books I want to read. That's always been on it. And I found this in Goodwill probably for $2. This one is a brand new book, but it was a bargain copy. This is the first of the Elizabeth George series, A Great Deliverance. This is Elizabeth George is the author. It's not the name of the series. I don't know. Let's see. This is Scotland Yard Inspector Thomas Linley. So it is the Linley series of crime mysteries. To this day, the low, thin wail of an infant can be heard in Kelldale's lush green valleys. 300 years ago, as legend goes, the frightened Yorkshire villagers smothered a crying babe in Kelldale Abbey, where they'd hidden to escape the ravages of Cromwell's raiders. This was published in 1988. And I believe Elizabeth George is an English author, and it's set, it's set in England. She lives in Seattle and London. So I thought I would try to get myself into a mystery series. I'm not a huge series reader, but I've wanted to read some more mysteries because they're super fun. And I heard some good things about this author. That was a bargain copy. I don't remember how much I paid for it, probably $7. This is another mystery, a contemporary mystery, also a bargain copy, brand new book. John Hart, The King of Lies. John Hart's contemporary mystery writer, mystery crime thriller, I think. And thought I'd start one of his books. I think many, if not all, I don't know this for sure, but I don't know if he's a series writer or if they're all standalones. And I really like standalones. Let's see. Jackson Workman Pickens, known to most as Work, mindlessly holds together his life, a failing law practice left to him when his father, Ezra, mysteriously disappeared. A distant wife and a fragile sister, Jean, damaged by the shared past they've endured. And then Ezra's body is discovered. He was set to inherit his father's fortune. So it is a crime mystery. I've heard a lot of good things about John Hart. Yeah. Okay, now this next one I also got for 60 cents. This is another one of my Salvation Army discoveries. And I bought the two books together, The Snow Child and this one, and at $1 and, what did I pay, $1.63 for two books. That means they were like 80 cents. Oh well. Now this book I tried to read years ago in my In Real Life book club, and I didn't necessarily get along with it, so I never finished it. However, for 80 cents, I found an almost pristine copy in paperback, French flaps with deckled edges, and so I picked up the story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Robolewski, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to try to reread it because this book is so beloved. And I don't know, why not? 80 cents is not going to kill me. Born mute, speaking only in sign, Edgar Sawtelle leads an idyllic life with his parents on their farm in remote northern Wisconsin. For generations, the Sawtelles have raised and trained a fictional breed of dog whose remarkable gift for companionship is epitomized by Almondine. I love that name. Edgar's lifelong friend and ally. Edgar seems poised to carry on his family's traditions, but when catastrophe strikes, he finds his once peaceful home engulfed in turmoil. It features dogs, so and it was 80 cents, so I'm going to try that one again. I'm going to hope for the best on that one. I found two Salman Rushdie books, both used. These were Goodwill, I think, so $3 each. The first one is The Enchantress of Florence. Now, Salman Rushdie is pretty famous for magical realism. This is the story of a mysterious woman, a great beauty believed to possess the powers of enchantment and sorcery, attempting to command her own destiny in a man's world. It is the story of two cities at the height of their powers, the hedonistic Mughal capital in which the brilliant Emperor Akbar the Great wrestles daily with questions of belief, desire, and the treachery of his sons, and the equally sensual city of Florence during the High Renaissance, where Machiavelli takes a starring role as he learns the hard way about the true brutality of power. So I thought it was good. Sounded good. It's a brand new condition at Goodwill, so I picked that one up. And this one is Fury hardcover. Again, almost brand new. I might have found both of them in the same store. And this one is Life is Fury. Sexual, Oedipal, political, magical, brutal, drives us to our finest heights and coarsest depths. This is what we are, what we civilize ourselves to disguise. The terrifying human animal in us, the exalted, transcendent, self-destructive, untrammeled Lord of creation. We raise each other to the heights of joy. We tear each other limb from bloody limb. And that's just a portion from the actual book. So that's all I want to read. But Fury is the title, and it's a furious book. So not a very long one either. And I thought it's actually less than 200 pages, I think. And probably one of his later books. Let's see when it was published. This was published in 2001. It's a work of explosive energy, at once a pitiless and pitch black comedy. Yes, I'm all for that. A profoundly disturbing inquiry into the darkest side of human nature, also into that. And a love story of mesmerizing force. I'm there for all of it. So Salman Rushdie's Fury, $3 at Goodwill. Another Goodwill, I think I found 5 books. They were all in the $2 to $3 range. This is another one in brand new condition, Joe Jones by Anne Lamott. And she wrote Traveling Mercies, I think is the name of it. She writes a lot of nonfiction, memoirs, essay type of books. This is a novel. And it's called Raucous, a raucous novel of the lives gathered around Jesse's Cafe, a restaurant from another era, the sort of broken down waterfront dive one might expect to find in Steinbeck or Soroyan. Jesse, thin, stooped, and gorgeous at 79, inherited the cafe years before, and it has become the home to a remarkable set of characters. 79-year-old main character, I am all in for Joe Jones. In a cafe, in a rundown cafe / diner, I'm all here for that. This one maybe, I think it's the only nonfiction I found, but so, okay, when I buy used books, I look for books in excellent to near new condition. Once in a while, I've bought a book that's maybe a tiny bit beat up, or I wouldn't say beat up, I would say scuffed. And I have bought former library copies that look read or enjoyed, that are a little scuffed, but I typically don't buy books that are falling apart or that are stained or whatever. This is a hardcover nonfiction book that is another one that's been in the back of my brain on my secret TBR list forever, and it's in like new condition. This is Galileos Daughter by Dava Sobel, and awesome cover, hardback with deckled edges. This one was published in 1999, and I've looked at this book forever. Inspired by a long fascination with Galileo and by the remarkable surviving letters of Galileo's daughter, a cloistered nun, Dava Sobel has written a biography unlike any other of the man Albert Einstein called the father of modern physics. And if you're writing about Galileo from the point of view of his daughter, bring it on. Bring it on. So I was really happy to find this one. This was another one of my Goodwill pile. I think this one was $4. Yep, I'm telling you, I am the expert at finding book jackpots in Goodwill, Salvation Army, library sales. It's just fantastic. This is another one. This was another one in my Goodwill pile. This one was about $2. And I don't think anybody ever read it. This is Josephine Tay's The Daughter of Time. It's like brand new. The spine has never been cracked. And I've had this on my list forever. I've been dying to read The Daughter of Time. And it's a Scotland Yard crime mystery novel. I'm not going to even read anything off the back because it's a modern classic. This one was published initially in 1951. So really, I was so happy about that one. Two more. One of them is a former library copy. It's clearly a used book, but it looks just pristine. The only issue would be that mark, and I don't care about those marks. That's typically when a library is blacking out the name of the library that a former library book came from. But they did the same thing with some of the stickers, and I don't see, there's no other stamps or anything on here. This is Honor by Thridi Umrigar, and this was a fairly recent new release novel, published, yeah, there's another one on the title page. I don't care about that. Published in 2022, so this is a pretty new release. And Thridi Umrigar is a well-known author, best-selling author of The Space Between Us and a few other novels. This one, and unfortunately, it's a Reese's Book Club pick, so there we go. I would love it if that didn't contain that graphic. It tells the story of two couples and the sometimes dangerous and heartbreaking challenges of love across a cultural divide. And this is set in India. Umrigar is an Indian author, and sounded really good. I was so happy to find a like-new former library copy of a 2022 release for approximately $7. So really happy about that one. Now, this is the last one. This is a brand new release. This is our next pick for the not the Blind Eye book, my In Real Life book club with the Critical Chicks, and I showed this one briefly before. It's The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. This one I bought new from Blackwell's. I think I called it Blackstone's last week or something like that. Blackwell's in the UK, because it's paperback. And it's a 700 and something page book. You know, I don't want to read this in hardcover, and I didn't want this on Kindle because I have his other book, the, what's it called? Cutting for Stone, and I wanted a physical copy of this book. So I'm going to be reading this in August, I think. August going into September, because we were going to take an extra amount of time to read this big book. And this is, I think, the only one that I bought new, brand new. And that is it. I lost track of how many books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A dozen books for fantastic prices in fantastic condition. So let me know if you've read any, what you think of any of them. Even if you really didn't like them, that's okay. If you want to talk about that in the comments below, I don't mind. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.